Hey guys, so just one quick thing before this review gets started. Throughout this recording, there is a noise like this rattle-like noise that pops up every now and then. I can't edit that out, and I really just did not feel like going back through and re-recording everything. Um, so I'm sorry if it gets on your nerves. I really hope it doesn't, and I hope you still enjoy the review. All right, hello. Welcome back to another review. I'm still not showing my face on camera. Please don't ask. I'm just not doing it. So it is currently like 3 in the morning. I am very tired, but I just finished watching the new Netflix film, The Mitchells versus the Machines. It is about the Mitchell family as they go on this road trip and get caught in the middle of the literal technological uprising, and they attempt to put a stop to it, and they bond as family along the way. Okay, so first impressions. I absolutely loved this movie. Such just it was so good, man. And it makes sense too, considering that Phil Lord and Chris Miller worked on it, and they're behind the Lego Movie, 21 and 22 Jump Street, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So it's like whenever their name is attached to a project, it's just automatic banger. And this movie was no different. Okay, so um, the animation, very unique, very creative, very stylistic. It has like a scrapbook like feel to it, where like sometimes there are drawings that are inserted into certain shots to kind of put more emphasis to it. Like for example, there's a moment of love between two characters. There'll be like little cartoon hearts that are drawn in, or there's a part where Katie gets a text message, Katie Mitchell, the main character, and it draws a little message icon on the screen. Just tiny little details. Sometimes it's more in your face, but it really just makes the movie much more unique, and it ties in to and plays into the main character, Katie Mitchell, who is like a creative teenager who loves to make movies. And so giving the movie like a scrapbooky style of animation, it just makes sense, and it's all the better for it. It's another one of those animated movies that prefers like style and creativity over like realism and quality. And when animated movies do that, they're almost always better for it. It's the same praise I have with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The animation doesn't go for quality, it goes for style, and it's all the better for it. Okay, so the story. So the story kind of plays up the uh, humans are consumed by their phones, technology is consuming humanity archetype, and from first impressions, it sounds like this movie is just trying to like push a message in your face, push an agenda. It's like, oh, get off your phone every now and then, go outside, go play outside, go do something else, get off your phone, video games, whatever. But I mean, with this movie, it really doesn't push it in your face. It takes that kind of that trope, and it has fun with it. It doesn't try and shove it in your face, and that's exactly what it needed to do. Because had it just constantly shoved it in your face like I was kind of expecting it to do, I would not have liked this movie. Because I hate it when movies do that, but thankfully this movie avoided that trap. So another thing with the story is it's just it's so well paced. Like this movie is almost 2 hours long and it went by so quick. Let me tell you. Like I had so much fun watching this movie because there was never really a point where it felt like it dragged. I mean, I think the finale dragged a tiny bit, but more on that later. But for the most part, this movie is just it's so well paced. I just really didn't have a problem with the story overall. It really is really good. Okay, so another pro, the characters. Each character in this movie, at least as far as the Mitchells are concerned, like the main characters, they're all so like distinct and so unique. Katie, she's this creative teenager who loves to be creative and loves to make movies, and she gets into her dream film college because of that. Then you have her father, Rick Mitchell, who is the exact opposite. He's more primitive. He prefers to be more not technology reliant. And then you have the mother, Linda Mitchell, and the son, Aaron Mitchell. And they're kind of caught in the middle of it. And throughout the movie, they kind of try and help Katie and Rick get along. And it fails, like, a lot. But throughout the movie, once they go on the road trip and they get caught up with the technological uprising, Katie and Rick start to put each other in the other's shoes. And they really start to grow as characters. They really start to get closer. Their bond starts to become much more fleshed out. And they become, like, their relationship, it just gets really good. Like, there's a part at the end of the movie during the finale where the roles kind of swap. Katie is forced to be more primitive and non-technology reliant, and Rick is forced to kind of use technology. And by kind of switching their whole character, it really allows one to be in the other's shoes, and it really lets them understand each other more. And so by the time it's all over, they're extremely close. And I think that the whole story, the characters, all of it's really, really well done. The humor. I was laughing hysterically for like 90% of this movie. It is genuinely just so funny. So incredibly funny. I won't provide specific examples because I don't want to spoil any of the jokes, and honestly, the jokes in this movie are like one of the best things it has to offer. But let's just say it's another one of those animated movies that just doesn't go for that expected type of humor. You know, it doesn't go for the low bar. No fart jokes, poop jokes, burp jokes, stuff like that. It's smart comedy. It's witty comedy. Sometimes it's subtle and you'll only really get it if you're paying attention. But it's so hysterical, so funny, man. Like, I don't know, it's just, I was laughing so hard the entire time I was watching that movie. And I love it when a movie makes me laugh like that. Finally, the writing. This part's going to be a little bit brief because there's really not much I can say about it, but like it's razor sharp. It's witty, it's smart, it's not trying too hard. You know, it doesn't shove stuff in your face. It doesn't put more emphasis on things than there needs to be. It's just really, really well written. For the cons, I don't really have any real complaints about this movie. I mean, I have a couple of nitpicks, which I'll go over now, but I wouldn't really consider them, like, true complaints. Okay, so for one, there are a couple of scenes in this movie that feel a bit dated. Like, maybe that's what it was going for, I don't know, but, like, there's, like, a YouTube video that pops up twice in this movie as, like, a reference by Katie, and it looks like it'd be the kind of video that'd be funny, like, 10 years ago. You know, it's not really funny now. The Neon Cat song is used in one scene. Just a bit of kind of dated references. I mean, there's not a lot of them. There's only a couple, but, I mean, it's there. At times, this movie does feel a bit dated. Okay, so, in the story, I mean, even though 99% of the time it is just having fun with it, it is not trying to shove it in your face, there's like one point in this movie where it does completely shove it in your face. It's a very brief moment. They don't dwell on it, so it's not terrible. But they do kind of try and push it just a bit too hard. And again, this is really just a nitpick. Again, they don't do this like the entire movie. It's really just one minor thing. One very brief instance of them pushing it way too hard. And then finally, I think the finale drags just a bit too long. Like, I'm not saying it was bad. I thought the finale of the movie was still incredible. But I was watching it and there was like two different points where I was like, okay, they could have wrapped it up right here and the movie would have been just as good. But, you know, again, not really a huge complaint. I still love the finale. But, again, I think it could have just been a tiny bit shorter. Okay, so, overall, what would I give The Mitchells versus the Machines? Honestly, like a 9. Maybe even a 9.5 out of 10. I'm struggling on whether or not I want to give this movie a 10. But I mean, like I said, I just had a couple of nitpicks with it that kind of hold it back from being that perfect movie for me. But overall, though, don't let those nitpicks turn you off from the movie. The movie is still incredible, so fun, so good, and I highly recommend you watch it if you have a Netflix subscription. Seriously, I really don't imagine anyone walking away from this movie dissatisfied or having not at least enjoyed what they watched. But yeah, overall, really loved it. Really good movie. Highly recommend it. All right, that's about it. Catch you guys later.